was the only one in the match that has never been in a ladder match because I had so many ideas and like, oh man, I'm gonna destroy this match. You know, like we're gonna go crazy. And then I climbed that ladder and I was like, nope. And I got right back down.
The Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest, NXT North American champion, no less. How are you today, sir?
Doing good. Sounds good to be called champ.
Yeah, it does. Well, that was going to be my first question. How does it feel having your hands on NXT Gold for the first time? First gold in your WWE career?
I mean, it feels exactly how it sounds, you know, like epic. You know, you strive, you set goals, and you want to accomplish something. But when you do, it just comes all in waves, you know, all the feelings and the emotion. Very proud, and I'm glad that I'm in a position I'm in, and the company trusts me to be in this position.
Well, that's a big thing, isn't it? I guess just having the trust from the behemoth that is WWE. I guess that must make you feel really, really good. Presumably, you were a fan growing up.
Oh yeah, I mean, since I was a kid, I lived in Puerto Rico, and we used to, you know, wrestling's really big there, so we definitely. I was heavily influenced then by the culture of it, and then just that larger than life. The superheroes and supervillains that we see on TV. And since a kid, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do, you know? And, man, I'm one of the fortunate ones that I got to live that dream. But yeah, since I was as young as I can remember, I was a fan of WWE, and this was the goal of my entire life, was to be here at the WWE. And to achieve success is unreal.
And was there a lot of pressure on you? Because obviously the title was vacated by Keith Lee. Did that put a lot of pressure on the young guys going for it, or were you just sort of focused on the win?
I mean, both, because I was focused. But yeah, there was extra pressure because it was kind of like, all right, well, if this is the route that this is going, then like I have to succeed now. You know, like there is no he came close or just another good performance. I had to excel. I had to overachieve here. So yeah, there was pressure, absolutely, because, you know, if I didn't perform well to the level of that I had been, you know, I've been consistently putting on performances that have obviously been praised, you know. So there was pressure there that, okay, well, if this is the moment that's been created for all the newer talent, then I have to excel everything that I've done so far, you know, or at least stay at that level. So there was that pressure. But besides that, it was also the focus. Just stay focused on what I keep doing, which is every day to improve just a little bit better than I was yesterday. And if I just keep that format, it works. That formula works.
It definitely does. And we here on the show, we were very excited to see you win. We predicted either a victory for you or for Cameron Grimes, but we were pleased it was you. But the match itself, Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano, yourself, Cameron Grimes, obviously, and a Velveteen Dream. It was an amazing ladder match at NXT TakeOver 30, no less. Am I right in saying this was your first ever ladder match?
Yeah. So there was also a different type of pressure going into that match because I was the only one in the match that has never been in a ladder match. So I remember just to kind of warm up to the idea, I went to the PC and I asked them to put a ladder in the ring just so I could stand on it, just to see what it felt like, the height, because I had so many ideas and like, oh man, I'm gonna destroy this match, you know, like we're gonna go crazy. And then I climbed that ladder and I was like, nope. And I got right back down. Man, it's scary. I'm not the biggest fan of heights. So I don't know, that sounds weird considering some of the things I do, but every time I go to do one of those crazy, you know, high risk maneuvers, in the moment, instantly, I regret it. So this was definitely.
Well, that's really interesting, and especially now in this time when they're on, you know, I know there's some sort of PC trainees in the crowd at Full Sail, but you don't get that rush of, you know, the adrenaline rush of the crowd cheering you on. Does that make a difference when you have to do spots that you know are going to hurt?
So at first, yes. You know, it was when the world, you know, when everything came down the way it did and we lost our crowds at first, you know, internally, we're all like, it's our job. We're just going to go out there and do our thing. What's the difference? We've had tons of training matches in front of nobody. It's completely different, and we were all wrong. And it was such a hard adjustment. It really was a hard adjustment. I know everybody says that it seems like every wrestler has kind of changed, pretty comfortably. That's not true. It was very difficult for all of us, just because we don't know if what we're doing is right, because we don't have that interaction to know if what we're doing is working, to know if like this is the moment where I should, really get that second wind and go on fire. I don't know. I don't know if that was the right time. Maybe I should have waited, or maybe I should have done it sooner, because you don't have that other voice to feed off of, that third man or whatever number of man in the ring, which is the crowd. So it was hard. But now, after doing it for months, now I feel like we've all gotten accustomed somewhat to it. Not to say that we've perfected it, because there is no perfecting it. It's still trial and error. But yes, in a way, it did make it harder, because I don't know, like you said, that extra adrenaline. It's not so much there. But what helps is obviously continuing to perform in these circumstances. You kind of get used to it like anything else. And being that I was in a ladder match, my adrenaline was already through the roof, because I was nervous as hell, being something in an environment that I was just not used to. And being the opportunity that was given to us, a ladder match for the North American Championship on TakeOver, and a historic 130 at that. All the emotion and adrenaline was there anyway. So it made that actually helped a little bit. So the crowd wasn't needed in that circumstance. Although I do wish we were in front of, 15, 20,000 people.
And do you watch a lot of tape? So for this match, for preparation for this match, I know you say you got a ladder, you put it in the ring, you walked up the ladder to test what it was like being afraid of heights. Totally get that. But I'm really interested in wrestlers kind of watching back at old matches and reviewing old tape. Were you there at the PC watching some old ladder matches, trying to get tips? If so, which ones? And what's your favorite ladder match of all time?
Ooh, that's another hard one. But I watched. I didn't watch them at the PC, so I did watch them at home. I can't even count how many ladder matches I watched in preparation, and I got absolutely nothing out of them, because I was like, these guys are just so good. They're so good at this. I can't do any of this, And I asked tons of questions, and from a lot of people that have been in ladder matches, just pick brains from legends and stuff. So I think that helped. And then as far as picking one, I mean, it depends on the circumstance as to why is your favorite. If it's just the spectacle of it, the first TLC, or the second one, if that, it's just iconic, but then individual matches, just what it means, like Razor and Shawn for the IC title, just because it was, who was the real champ, that's a crazy story. Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, just because, Undertaker in a ladder match, and RVD, they've all had so many. There's been so many great ladder matches. It's hard to pick one. It depends on the circumstance, and why they're actually in a ladder match. I find that more intriguing than anything, the story behind it. Yeah. And then of course, I mean, the match has to deliver, but those are a lot of the matches that I looked at. A lot of Edge matches, a lot of Undertaker matches, and putting them in a different atmosphere to see how they reacted. And now Edge obviously was a little bit more accustomed to it, but seeing that we're very similar in size and style, I kind of watched a lot of his stuff to see how he maneuvered, how he structured stuff, and his thought process going in. And then I got to talk to him about it and question him and ask him a million questions about it. The day before TakeOver, I spent about an hour on the phone with him, just question after question after question, and to the point where he was like, that's all I got. I don't think there's one more word I can say about this match. And I was like, all right, I'll let you go.
But that's fascinating to me, though. The idea that you can call up a Hall of Famer, someone like Edge, who presumably is wanting to be really giving of his time and passing on that knowledge to the younger generation. But people like him, and obviously you mentioned HBK as well, Shawn Michaels, who I imagine you work with a lot at NXT. What's the best piece of advice that you've had from someone like Edge or Shawn?
So, and I guess it comes to where I am today. It's from Shawn and Hunter. I mean, everybody's kind of said it in their own words, but Hunter and Shawn have been very adamant about me just being myself and not pretending to be this over-the-top character like I've done for 15 years, where I was always portraying a character. Even if it was portraying a version of myself, it was still pretending, because I'm basically showcasing myself in what others believe I am. So if this is your thought process of what you think I am, then I'm going to do that. So it's really still not being me. And they've been both adamant, like, we see you how you are outside of the ring when we're personally and private interacting. Be this guy. You know, like, you tell us, like, because we conversate and I tell them stories of stuff I do in my life. And they're like, just do that. Like, you're a wild, cool guy. Like, just be that guy on TV. And you trust me, it'll work. And it was a struggle at first, just because I see that red light, and it's automatically, it just instinct takes over to act.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for me just to start being myself, and which is the craziest thing. I couldn't figure out how to be myself.
Well, no, I totally understand that. I was going to say it's all well and easy saying, "Oh, just be yourself," but actually, that's really hard to do once the cameras are on.
Yeah, and now, you know, because they were so on me about that, and Hunter straight out said it to me, because he said Undertaker said it to him once. He was like, that Undertaker told him, when you learn how to be yourself, you're going to make a lot of money in this business. And then he goes, now I'm telling you that. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, which I thought was really neat. You know,
that's awesome.
They've always been, they're super, like, supportive as far as, like, they want everybody to succeed. So when they see that there's really something right there in front of you, then, you know, of course they're going to zone in on it and on you and push you and push you and push you. And so far, so good. I mean, obviously it's working. I mean, I'm the North American champion, so there has to be some right there.
It's all going in the right direction.
Yeah,
absolutely. And going back to TakeOver, you mentioned Triple H there and advice he's given you. Got to talk about the celebratory picture, the Triple H pointing picture, which for you after your title victory was in a hot tub. Absolutely hilarious. Who came up with that idea? Was that you or was that him? Because it was very popular on social media.
It was a combination. So I wanted one of those limos to have a hot tub in them. to roll out. Couldn't find one because, you know, pandemic and everything. That's the one that fitted. So we got a hot tub and built a deck around it the day of. And I knew I was going to jump. I didn't know that I was going to jump in it the way it happened, right? Like in a celebration. I just knew that the hot tub was for me, you know? And then after I won, it was like, let's go to the hot tub. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, that was a surprise. So that was him, you know, and then it was like, all right, let's go celebrate. And then I just, you know, what was I going to do? Just change? And I was like, this is my rock star moment. Just jump in.
Own it. Be yourself.
Yeah, basically. And that's how that came to be. But it was a combination where I pitched an idea and like just a hot tub. But I was like, it's just cool, you know, just showing up with girls or leaving with girls in a hot tub. I was like, that's what I want to do. And he was like, okay, we could do something like that. And then we didn't talk about it again. And this was like 2 weeks before TakeOver. So I completely, like, we weren't even talking about that. And then I show up and I saw a hot tub. I didn't know it was for me.
That's so
And
cool.
then they were like, yeah, you're going to do something in a hot tub. And I was like, okay, whatever. That sounds cool. And then sure enough, there was the celebration. So that's how that came to be. And then I jumped in and I was, you know, Hunter wanted to do the picture, and it was kind of like, I'm already in the water. And he was like, stay right there. Screw it. And then he just got behind me, and it was hilarious. Then I told him, you want to jump in? He was like, no, I got a show to run.
Well, I was gonna say, how would it have gone down if you had pulled Triple H into the hot tub? Do you think you would have found that funny, or do you think that would have been a step too far?
100% a step too far. I think I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you right now.
Fair enough. Another talent I want to talk to you quickly about who made his in-ring debut at NXT TakeOver 30 was Pat Mcphee. Obviously, he shocked the world, blew people away with his debut against Adam Cole. What did you think of Pat's performance, knowing sort of how difficult it is to, you know, get your groove on when it comes to in-ring work? And were you as surprised as everyone else?
Absolutely. Outstanding performance. I mean, excelled. Like, I've seen people wrestle for years that can't put on a match that good.
Yeah.
Like that, just being honest, like, I wrestled all around the Indies, and in the Indies, guys can't do what he can do. You know, tell a story, wrestle a good match, and then do some high risk maneuvers that are just outstanding. I mean, like I said, I was surprised. I mean, I knew he had been training. I knew he trained with Rip Rogers. Like, I knew he was there was no way a professional athlete was going to come into this unprepared. Like someone like that, like you could tell he's a perfectionist. Like he has to be good at everything he does. He doesn't do something just for views, just because it's cool. Like he'll do it for that reason, but he has to do it well. Like he can't just, walk it. He has to run across it. So I wasn't surprised that he took it as seriously as he did, but just because you take it seriously doesn't mean you're going to get to that level of performance, especially without a track record like he does. When have you ever seen him work?
Yeah.
So that was also like, it's one thing to train and another thing to put on a live performance on pay-per-view against one of the biggest and best stars in the world. It's just a lot of components he was set up for failure, and oh my God, did he succeed. So kudos to him for taking it as seriously as he did and coming in as prepared as he did. And that's also a testament to show how really good Adam Cole is too.
Oh yeah.
Because wow, that was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. I spoke to the both of them after, and I was like, you guys, like Cole, you were the man. McPhee, you're a ton of respect for you. I had before, now it's through the roof. Yeah, that was impressive.
It really was. It was a great story and an amazing match. Just quickly, finally, to wrap it up, I want to talk to you about moving up to the main roster. We've seen Keith Lee move over to Raw, doing incredibly well, firmly positioned in the main event scene. We've seen seemingly some other NXT stars appear as Retribution with some fairly unique names, shall we say, character names, Slapjack, for example. What are your thoughts on, Retribution, but also the move up to the main roster? Is it something that you're excited about in the long term, or is it something that you're nervous about because it doesn't always work, that transition from NXT to the main roster?
I'm not nervous at all. Just because, circumstances, everybody's different, and sometimes things work out for the better, sometimes not so much. But ultimately, it's all opportunity, and it's you got to find it within yourself to make things work. I firmly believe that. I was never meant to succeed on the indies just because my size and my style is more, as I've always been told, I'm more main roster-esque, like Raw, SmackDown. Just because the bigger guy with a lot of facials, more character driven. Although now I'm more myself, but still, but I just figured out a way, like it's on us to figure out a way. I'm extremely happy for those guys. I'm really good friends with Keith, extremely happy. I mean, how can you complain? I mean, he's main eventing left and right. He's working with McIntyre and Randy Orton, two of the best in the business right now. Like, yeah. I mean, if anything, I'm a little jealous, just because of the quality of people that he gets to work with and the new people he gets to work with. It's one thing, like this company has unlimited talent. It's crazy how talented the people that work here are. But, like when you're just on one brand, it's awesome because you have so much talent on that brand. But we forget that there's two other brands that have an enormous amount of talent. But just speaking directly with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, I think, like you said, like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Retribution, I'm intrigued, because I'm curious as to what's going to happen. And that's all we can ask for right now. I know everybody has their conclusions of what's going to happen, even though it hasn't even happened yet. But I'm more concerned with just the intrigueness of it and just focus on where it's going to go. And I'm still going to be positive. I think positive. It's going to work out for all of them because they're too talented for it not to. I just firmly believe that. And when it doesn't work for others, it's not because of lack of talent. It's not because of burial or whatever people want to call it. It's circumstance, and sometimes it's just the way it goes. Not the best doesn't always win. That's just not real life. That's not how the way things work. Sometimes you just gotta figure out a way. And I think they're all more than capable of figuring out a way to make it work wherever they go. And that's why they're up there now. It's because they've done everything their right way to lead up to that moment. And for me personally, it's not so much. I look forward to going up. I think for me, like I'm in NXT, I work for the WWE. I'm extremely happy. And there's a lot of goals and things that I want to accomplish in NXT. But then I also have things that I want to accomplish on Raw and SmackDown. And I consider more of a lateral than going up, just because, not because obviously they have bigger reach they have a larger fan base. So they are bigger brands. But I don't think it's so much like we're not on par. I think talent level, we're right there. And production, like we work with the best people in the world. So I don't consider it that, but there's a lot that I want to accomplish in all brands in this company. So I look forward to any move, and I'll be ready when asked to. And if my future is just NXT, I'd be happy with that too. Like there is no wrong here because I'm in the company I've been wanting to work with since I was a child. So whatever happens, I'll be happy to be here for it.
That's awesome. Well, you sound in a great place. NXT, I'm loving it at the moment, loving your work. So congratulations, and hope to see you in person at some point soon.
Hopefully, man. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Damian. Take care.
Take care.
You join me from my voiceover booth. Hello, you, and thank you so much for clicking onto the Gorilla Position YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed my interview with none other than the NXT North American Champion, Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy. Massive things on his horizon, 100%. If you enjoy my interviews with the biggest stars from WWE, please hit that subscribe button. Go on, in the corner there, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be personally notified every time I upload a new video. Make sure you comment below, get involved underneath this vid. Check out the weekly podcast, Gorilla Position, the biggest WWE podcast to come out of the UK. It drops every single Wednesday. Subscribe on whatever podcast platform is your favourite. Follow us on social media at WWEGP. Your support is most welcome. Thank you. See you on the next vid.